Welcome back to Self Revelations. It's your boy B-Dab.
And I am Juan Moreno.
Juanavelli, how you been, brother? How's this last week been with you?
Man, everything's been going beautiful. Everything really has been going like the way it's like supposed to be. Now I feel like I'm like sound like I've been saying this a lot too, but I have been tapping in more to like being more grateful for a lot of things. Like I am the type of person that says great morning instead of good morning at work, and it pisses like a lot of people off because like, you know, people sometimes hate the mornings or hate their day, hate their life, like, but I always just try to be that light. Like everything's going better than expected for you, but you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, your family's okay, you're breathing, you can walk, like, you know, you have your wits with you, you're cognitive, you can make decisions. And I always like to like go towards like that type of perspective because it's so easy to be negative, and like I know what it does to me, and I don't want to follow that no more. So I always try to separate myself. How about you?
Facts. Oh, well, to add on to one thing that you said, yeah, being negative is the norm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Really
Everybody complains, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you notice that everywhere, it don't matter where you're at work, if you're at home, family gatherings, everybody's always negative, has something negative to say. Just so to be the light and be the positive person, you know, that's definitely one of the things that like is definitely not common, but has a lot of value to it.
And you also see that connection with people in elevated levels of perspective, whether it's like a position, coach, or executive CEO. They catch that within people too. Like that's you separate yourself. Like when you're positive and you're happy, and you know when somebody asks you how you're doing, instead of saying you're good, you're like, I'm doing fucking phenomenal. Like,
yeah.
I remember on Saturday, like one of the VPs at my job asked me, "Oh, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Man, I'm feeling amazing. Like I feel godly." And then she was just like, "Wait, what'd you say?" I was like, "Oh, I feel godly." And I legit felt that though. Like I felt good. I felt like, you know, I'm just walking on water. Like I just felt so happy. And like, yeah, I had to work on a Saturday. People don't like working on the weekends, but I felt that like I was happy just I get to go to work. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not bad. Like the job is easy. Like the only thing that's hard is like what you build in your head of what's going on with your life, like your your perspective. Like, oh, you're not rich yet, or you're not this. But then I think about that I'm building every day though. So like I'm building up to where I want to be, and I'm exactly where I should be. And I'm just going every day, and people catch that too, like that inspiration, that motivation. It separates you from other people, and you hear that. Like, it's not even me that's saying, "Oh, I separate myself." It's actually always the reassurance of other people telling me. I'm not. It's not like I'm seeking validation. Like that's how I hold myself from other people's opinions. But you are what people say you are, and what you're trying to implement. So that's kind of how I move.
Yeah, facts. And go back to what you said. Like honestly, they, you know, with the like how you think about everything, that's everything. So when someone's sitting there moping or like, oh, I gotta work on a Saturday, you're getting paid at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Your misery is only gonna be as bad as you make it in your head. So if you're sitting there playing everything back in your head, like, oh, what could I be doing today? Man, I'm at work. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have goals, if you have, you know, a plan for your goals, and you're like, okay, I got to meet this mark to get there, or maybe they want to move up in their positions, like it's going to be a grind. You know what I mean? If you have something to look forward to, it's easier to kind of silence those negative thoughts. But if you don't have no goals or have anything written down for yourself, or have a plan, like a 6-month plan, 5-month plan for yourself, it's easy to just be like, oh man, this sucks. Like I want to go home so I could drink a beer, or so I can do this or do that. But at the end of the day, be grateful. That takes you a long way.
Yeah, most definitely. But how about you, man? How's everything going for you, like mentally, physically, like where you're trying to be at? How are you?
Bro, I'm like super happy, bro. Like this is the best job I've ever had, bro, by far.
That's
like
crazy.
It's not even close.
Job too.
Like it's not even close.
Playing football job.
You're playing football, getting paid more than you ever have. You're you know what I'm saying? You're able to do it in your own, not hometown, but own like state. You know what I'm saying? Right in your backyard in NorCal. Bro, it doesn't get better than that. Like it can't be a better situation than that, bro. Like it's so dope. And you know, living so close to home too, that helps. Playing an hour away from our hometown in San Jose.
Right.
Like, bro, like that. It's, I don't know. It's the best feeling in the world. I love every moment of it, and I'm just glad like all my family can be here to see it. Even my granny, you know, was talking to me like the day before the first game, and it was just crazy like talking with her because like, you know, that's my last grandparent. So like her being able to see me like go professional, seeing me from when I was a kid, a baby, you know what I'm saying, playing football, flag football from when I was 3 to now, it's like, damn, bro, like she's seen me grow all the way up, you know what I'm saying, and see how I am now. Like it's just it's a blessing, bro, because ain't nothing guaranteed, and especially in this sport, like I said, you know, last week, like it's 100% injury rate, you know what I mean, and to consider like, you know, I haven't had any serious injuries up to date. Like I probably had one. But it's a blessing, bro, for real. And I'm just so happy in the space that I am in right now.
Damn, man, that's beautiful too. What are some like the most valuable lessons that you learned, like related from football to life?
For sure, one is controlling my emotions. Because when you're on a team and things aren't going your way or stuff don't play out how you thought it would play out, or maybe even you don't get the opportunities that you think you can get, it's easy to just act out and act like a kid and just burst out in anger or, you know, be a certain way, right? But when you control those emotions and you still choose the grind and you still choose to, you know, just work and try to be a light for your team or for the people around you and try to be an example, a leader through actions, it really does speak volumes. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that helps me, you know, or that I've learned from football is taking accountability. You know, if, you know, you're doing your job the whole game, whatever it may be, that's on, you know what I'm saying? It's on you. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing your 111, like good for you. You can't point the finger, oh, this person didn't do that, this one didn't do this. It's a team effort at the end of the day. And if you're messing up, you know what I'm saying, taking accountability, okay, this is what I messed up on. I'm going to improve on it by working on this, and that. It's not going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? It should be a steady climb. It should be you always should be trying to improve. And one of the last things I've probably learned from, you know, playing sports is building those relationships. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's their own individual person. So why not try to build a brotherhood with people that you meet, like, you know, whether if they're from across the country or wherever they're from, bro, you know, build these relationships. Because at one point, you know, the first time I tried out for the Panthers and stuff, I didn't really try to get to know nobody. I was just there like, oh, I'm just trying to make the team. I'm just trying to do this. I'm not talking to nobody. You know, I'm just, you know, just, you know, oh, I got to learn these plays on my own and get at yada, rather than trying to get to know them. Like, oh, bro, like, where you from? Yada, yada. Like, oh, you got kids? Oh, you got a family? Yada, yada. Oh, what do you do? What do you do other than football? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Like, it was all, like, me trying so hard to be, like, the main character. You know what I'm saying? And and building relationships and trying to get to know people, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just be in this bubble of, like, oh, I have all my day ones. Like, that's fine. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, getting to know somebody else. Somebody else might be a relationship that can last a lifelong relationship. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you never know when it comes to that.
Man, I've been like thinking through this idea like lately. You know what's funny, bro? I feel like the best ideas I get are in the shower. I don't know
for real?
why. Yeah, some of the craziest ideas or like realizations I get are from like the shower. It could be the most randomest thing ever. Like it could be a combination of watching this podcast, watching this person, then I connect the dots with my life and see if it connects, and realization pops up. Like one of the things I was thinking about that I wanted to talk about too was, you know, like when I look back at my life, bro, and I like currently, I'm only 26, but I act like I'm an old ass man. Like one of the things that I've learned is like some of the most valuable lessons I learned were from women. Whether if it was my mom, whether it was the women that were a part of my life, whether it's my siblings or sisters, aunties, friends that are women too that I've met. Like some of the most valuable lessons I learned were from them when it comes to like love, vulnerability, letting go, even emotional strength, mentality. Like, bro, women give birth. I would, if there was some type of possibility that men can give birth, I am not doing it.
Bro, what?
I see what they go through, like the C-sections and the pain and like the meds some of them take other than natural, like the shit that they go through. Their bodies constantly, like, the hormones are like unbalanced sometimes. Like, I don't really know. I'm getting into deep territory that I don't know, but like things, you know, bro, they are strong as shit to be able to hold it together. Like, when you look at your mom, you look at your, like, the past relationships with women, like, they teach you a lot of things. Like, and that's one of the things I realized, like, women, the relationship I am in, my lady was the first person to ever teach me how to trust somebody and to fully understand what it is to love somebody unconditionally. I've never experienced that from my life, even from my own mother. Like, I never experienced that. And like, seeing that for the first time, like, knowing that you can trust, because I had trust issues with myself and with everybody. So like, I would always, like, that's why I wasn't committed into maybe strengthening relationships as good, because I felt that I couldn't trust myself, or I couldn't trust them. People switch up because what had happened to me when I was younger and what actions have shown. Like, you were taught that family is supposed to be loyal, but then when your family backstabs you or does something bad to you in betrayal for their own self-centered interest, you kind of get taught that, well, shit, if my family can't even be loyal, how the hell am I supposed to expect friends to be loyal? And I had that type of, like, mindset in a way, even though none of the friends, like, including you, never did nothing that made me hesitate or think, like, you know, I can't trust this person. But the fact that what has transpired in my life, I would kind of like, nah, I can't trust nobody. And to look back, like women are some of the most valuable lessons that I learned, because how they taught me how to do things that I never experienced. I feel like some things women teach you, like, I feel like women are like gods too, in a way. Bro, they give birth to, like, literally human beings. Like, I came in the shower, bro, and the, like, realization of, like, what, like, women literally give birth to, like, humans, new life. Like, you're here because of a woman. You came out of a woman. I forgot that Tupac song where he says, like, I came from a woman, love a woman. I forgot what it says, but, like, I think about that at times too. It's like, damn, some of the most strongest people that I know are women.
And what was one of the defining moments where you were like, even with you know, Selena, what was one of the defining moments where you were like, even though you never, like, trusted someone like that, one of the defining moments where it was like, wow, like, I trust and I love her unconditionally? What was one of the moments that really clicked for you?
I always look back at this one time when we were talking to each other, and I thought that she did something that was, like, suspect. Like, oh yeah, she cheating. Like, she cheating. Like, and we're not even together. I was like, she over here messing around and stuff like that. And I was like, this is exactly why, you know, I don't try to, like, you know, build a relationship early. I just try to, you know, do my thing. And then, like, I asked her, like, the fact that I assumed that what she was doing, like, was, like, cheating. And then the fact of her response was more of, instead of trying to justify herself, like, you know, I'm not cheating, I'm not doing that, why would I do that to you? Like, I'm not trying to do that to you, I don't want to hurt you, blah, blah. Or, like, some of that stuff that sometimes in relationships, they try, it's a lot of self-centered. Like, oh, I'm not going to do that, like, or play victim. Like, she wasn't playing victim, like, with my accusation. She was more of, like, oh, what, you think I'm just gonna make all this shit up just to impress you or lie to you to keep you or something like that? The fact that, like, I never had somebody, you know, try to cater to my feelings. Like, I can tell when somebody's like a yes man or a yes ma'am or whatever, try to cater to your feelings, try to, like, protect you. You ever heard that thing, like, some people don't want to lie to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings? Like, I felt that it wasn't that at all. Like, it was more like, I'm not going to jeopardize my character just to be with you. Yeah. Like, who are you? Like, you're not nobody. Like, I'm barely talking to you that time. When I felt that from her, when I was accusing her of something, and without her, she didn't justify herself. She was like, you can believe what the hell you want to believe. Like, like, this happened, and you don't want to believe that? That's perfectly fine. And I was just like, I love you.
That's powerful, bro.
I never got a response like that ever. It's like those little things like that too, and then actions, obviously. You know, words don't mean shit. She could say like that, and she be messing with somebody the whole time still, but her actions always showed it. That's the thing. I never. Every time I had a suspect moment of, like, PTSD from, like, the other relationships, she would always prove me wrong without it's always about, to me, what you're doing when nobody's looking.
Yeah,
like it's so easy to do the push-ups when the coach is looking, do the burpees, and as soon as the coach turns around, you just standing up and like. So I always knew like it's all about like what you're doing when nobody's looking, and now I've always started to live by that recently, like the last 6 years, and seeing somebody else do that, and I would try to build this like perception of fear that's going on, like she's messing with somebody or betrayal, trust, something that has to break my trust. She would always prove me wrong every time. Yeah, and I was just like, I got to give it up. Like, it's too much energy for me to even try to think that somebody's doing something to me. Sometimes you got to just let go and let God and just let the actions show. If she wants to cheat, she's going to cheat. Facts. You could try to stop her. You could try to location, have her phone. Y'all could share the same phone, bro. Y'all could live in the same house, sleep in the same bed, work at the same job, and she will still cheat if she wants to. So, like, once I realize I have to let go and whatever happens, happens, and I just move and I adjust, no hard feelings. You do what you want to do. You pleasured whatever. You fill some type of void that you had with whatever actions you did. Then that's fine. I'm not here to judge you, but I'm going to move this way, though.
Yeah, exactly. Facts. And like we were talking about earlier, the red flag thing. Yeah, like, once someone does do something that does bother you, or you feel like it's a red flag, it's fine. That's perfectly fine to, go the opposite way. If you feel like, hey, this is going to drive me off of the path that I'm going, that's fine. Yeah, go separate ways, no hard feelings, like you said. But when you are with someone, like, holding yourself accountable, like, you can easily focus on, okay, what is she doing? Like, I feel like it would be easy for me to cheat, so let me double down and see what they're doing, or I'm not doing something right, so let me look and point the finger at the other person. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it's about, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hold yourself accountable. If you don't know about this other person, how this other person doing, be the best version or best boyfriend or best girlfriend that you can be at that time for that person. And if shit don't work out, you get cheated on, move on. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. You live and you learn, right? But, don't get molded by, your experiences and then end up fucking up a good experience with somebody else because somebody else passed on their traumas that they had in past relationships to you. You know what I'm saying?
And that's so true too, because I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok. We got like a few messages from somebody. They were saying like, oh, how do I work on removing myself from somebody who I love and I like a lot, but they're just toxic. Like, they're messing with other people and they're always and I was like, God, man, because like I've never really experienced that because I was doing both. So like it was kind of mutual. We were both toxic, but I never was in a situation where the other person was just full on toxic and you just loved them and you would try to like Captain Save-A-Ho basically type thing, like put the cape on. Like, I realized like within hearing that, and then from my own experience from like other people that I've talked and I've seen, I think the moment that you put too much of yourself invested into someone and not your purpose, that's when it gets problematic. Because like you put all your energy, your insecurities, the way you look at yourself, the way you carry yourself, the clothes that you wear is like around that person, and the way your behavior is, your energy, your emotions. I think if somebody could make you upset with words, they have too much power. And I think you have to take a step back, focus on what aligns with you. What's your purpose? What are you here for? Is it your family's important? Like, are you important? Like, you have to remember that you're the main character in your life. Like, you have to put you first, always over anybody else. Either if it's your any relationship, you always have to put yourself first. You have to take care of yourself first, because if you don't, then you're taking care of others while they're taking care of themselves, and then those people are usually kind of self-centered. The person you're trying to invest too much in. And I think I forgot what I said, something like around those lines, like that I just kind of just talked about. But I think it's problematic when you put all your interest and energy into somebody. You need to put that shit towards you. Yeah,
because it's like I seen a video on TikTok, because I follow a lot of like motivational stuff, and he was basically talking about like, like when you're in a relationship, he's like, God will tell you how much to invest into this person. You know what I mean? He's like, it's just like, like stocks. Like, if you put all your money into a stock and you lose all your money, he's like, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, you gotta do it with how do you say this? You gotta have a consciousness when you're coming to depositing this energy into people.
Right.
So if there's somebody that you're interested in, and you know you still have that focus, like you said, on your goals and on your purpose, right? That should always be the main focus. But you know, these deposits that you're putting into this person that add on to you, you know, that could go a long way. But it should never be to where like if they leave, it's gonna crush you and it's gonna throw you off your shit, and you know you're ready to, you know, off yourself. You know, you should always have that consciousness of knowing what you want to do and where you want to be, and whether if that person's are with or without you, you're still gonna get there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You really gotta be selfish too. You gotta be selfish and like take care of yourself, making sure like self-care, self-love, working out, like doing all these other things. I feel like when you put yourself too much into somebody, it always ends up not being good for you.
Yeah, facts.
Like it's not like it's a bad thing to like compromise and stuff like that in relationships, but you have to have a balance. Like you have to, you know, hang out with your friends. She hangs out with her friends, your friends and her friends get together. You're with her friends, she's with your friend. I think you have to like, and especially a space, like keeping space between yourself too. I think when you get too clingy with somebody, you start to lose yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're invested too much in that person where like their interests now become yours, but they're not really yours. Like doesn't feel natural. And you start like getting away from yourself more and more and more and more to the point where you don't know how to do anything without that person. Yeah. And like that's a dangerous game. Like I hear like you hear like on TV or like from other people that like they'll be with somebody for like 50, 60 years, and when that person passes away, they don't even know how to do anything. They don't even know how to pay a bill. They don't know how to cook their own food. They don't even know how to go to a walk without the other person, like after somebody passes away or whatever, break up or something. Like that's why I was like, damn, you gotta remember you have a life. That's a problem. Like when you stray away from outside of yourself and you're not doing things solely for yourself and your purpose, like it becomes a problem.
Yeah, facts. So have you ever been through that where you were like too invested in a person or too invested in a relationship and you weren't on your purpose or on your grind?
Yeah, with family and relationship. Like I would cater too much into like, oh, how do they think of me, of what I'm doing? But subconsciously, it's not like I was like, oh, they like this if I do. It's not like that. It was more of like naturally you would do things based off what they feel is good judgment. So I wasn't really naturally being myself. I was kind of just like in the middle of a tunnel, staying in the middle of like their perception of like what's good and what's bad. And that's a sad, leads to like depression, sadness. You lose yourself. You don't even know who you are. And I was in that too for like a few years. When I look back at like how I looked at my family's judgment and the relationship that I was in, I would kind of cater to them a little bit too much. I was trying to be too much of a fixer too. You know, as men, we are like meant to try to fix things. Like you want to save this person of their own harm and you want to protect them and stuff like that. But then you kind of open the door for you to be getting stabbed behind the back a lot. And it builds like trust issues, lack of motivation. It's not even a lack of motivation. You have no motivation because you have no purpose. Like you have nothing. You're catering to people's opinions, and you don't even have an idea of who you are. Like there was times where I couldn't even look in the mirror because I didn't even know who the hell I was. Like I had no idea what I wanted to do. Bouncing from job to job, women to women, and not seeing a clear perspective or vision of where I really wanted to be. And a lot of it was based off like the opinions of my family, the opinions of my other at that time. And that could really like take you away from like your purpose. Like that's always like your purpose. Like you gotta have some type of purpose. If not, you're kind of just moving with the wind. You're like an empty plastic bag just going all over there, getting hit by the cars, getting stuck underneath the car. And that car could be a relationship you're in, and then you like the the bag goes somewhere else to another car,
Yeah.
another relationship. And then you end up on the side of the road. Like,
Yeah, facts.
So that's how I kind of feel with like you invest too much in people's opinions.
Yeah. Do you think like friends can fall into that too, and that can like drive you off a different side of the road?
Yeah, definitely, like a different route too. Like you could be a type of person that never liked to drink, and then you hang out with that person that's always drinking and stuff like that. You hang out with them for consecutively for like 3 to 4 months, and you're holding your own. Shot. No, I'm good. I'm gonna sip my water right here, and then that one day after the 6 months, you're like, oh, I'll take a shot, and then boom, now you're drinking every day. Like. Yeah. That literally does happen. It's kind of like, like drugs too. Like if you never did drugs, but you hang out with people who do drugs, it's only a matter of time until you do it too. Like, you know what? It's probably not that bad. If they're having a good time, they got a job, but you don't even know how your body's gonna respond or how you're gonna react to certain things. And like, there's a super influence within the friends around you too. Like we've talked about it numerous times too. Like you hang out with 9 dumbasses, you're gonna be the 10th one.
Exactly.
Like you hang out with 9 broke people, you're gonna be the 10th broke person too. Or you're gonna lead that way too, because then you start kind of taking in their values, and they might not have good values. Like just because somebody might value a gold chain more than passive income. Like people would rather have like a look. Some people would invest in like expensive shoes or like this type of alcohol or these type of like music, and it not even be truly you. And you start literally molding to be a version of like all your friends into one person because you don't know who you are. And those friends are probably just being themselves too, naturally like that. But if you were yourselves, they would have accepted you too. Like you were just cool, you were yourself. You have your own interests. Like, nah, I'm good. I ain't trying to do all that. Like, I'll kick it with y'all another time, whatever. Like nothing's wrong with that too. But some people I think always want to fit in. Like you see that shit. Like,
you have that fear of not being accepted.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a tough guy, so I know my friends aren't gonna fuck with me if I'm not tough like them. So let me try to, what I'm saying. But then people get exposed like that way too, because then get into a little fight and. You get beat up in front of all your friends. That's pretty embarrassing.
You get folded like a fucking chair.
Or shit goes south and you end up, you know what I'm saying, shooting somebody because you trying to prove that you tough.
You hear that a lot.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to be that guy.
I knew that early too. Like I used to hang out with people that were like, have guns on them and like have drugs on them. And I remember I was always myself though. I was still respected because just how I wasn't a gang member. I never gang banged, nothing like that. I tried when I was like fucking 12, bro. But like obviously I'm internet banging here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to be like my cousins. Like I ain't no real gangster. I would have survived a day in jail at that time.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember like just still holding up my wits. And when people would come in with a gun in their car, I would tell them straight up, like, we get pulled over, like you're gonna admit that's your fucking gun. That's not my fucking gun. Like. And some people like, nah, nobody say nothing. Nobody's going to snitch. Like, everybody just keep their mouths closed. Dumbass, if everybody keeps their mouths closed and I'm the one that's driving the car and nobody says nothing to that gun, guess who that gun is going to fall to? The driver.
Exactly.
Like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, we're going to have a problem. Like I'm going to beat your ass. And I'm going to tell him that's his fucking gun. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's snitching. Okay, then do something about it. Like, there's no way in hell I'm going to go to jail for somebody over some stupid shit. Only if it was based off my decision. Like, I acted off emotion or anger. And I put myself where I'm going to go to jail. I'm fine with that. But there's no way in hell I'm going to accept somebody's weapon. And that's why, like, that's one thing I was respected for, too, with other people like that was, like, y'all could do the coke, y'all could do whatever the hell y'all want, like, but I'm good. I am not trying to do that. I'll have a good time. I'll drink my mimosa on the side. Like, I'll drink whatever alcohol, beer I have on me. Thanks. All that other stuff, that's y'all. Y'all go ahead, do y'all thing. But being in that, like, realm, too, also showed me, like, do you want to be doing this when you're 35, 30? Is this gonna get that acre of land for your family? Is this gonna make you feel good about yourself? And once I started having those thoughts by myself, I realized, like, this is not going to lead nowhere good. Like, I'm wasting time, if anything. I'm wasting money. I'm wasting time. I'm wasting resources. They're great people. I'm sure they're going to figure it out, too. When they get a family, they're going to bounce off of this shit. And a lot of them do, too. But I realized, like, you know, you gotta be careful with the people you surround yourself with, because it could lead you to a path that isn't your purpose.
Yeah, facts. And was it always, like a voice in the back of your head that like always guided you when it came to like, say you not acting in your own character? It was always that kind of voice in the back of your head, and you're like, this ain't me. At the end of the day, it's like your subconscious like telling you like, bro, this ain't you. Like you're not a gangbanger. You're not this. You're not that. Like you're a good dude. You know what I'm saying? And was that something that always kind of held you back from taking that wrong path?
That's interesting you say that. I've always had that voice in my head too. Like, you know, why are you doing this? Like, what are you trying to prove here? Like, you're a good person. There was times like I remember being with certain people like, oh, like we're gonna jump somebody, or like the person looked at us wrong, and then literally walking up to the person, I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, what are you doing? Like the person didn't even do nothing wrong or whatever. The person's just walking. I would literally talk to myself and everybody else like, nah, don't. Like no, this is stupid. Like there's a lot of times where I'll be doing some stuff that like was frowned upon. In the middle of it, I'll just be like, nah, like I'm good. Y'all go ahead and do what y'all want to do. Like I'm not here to stop nobody. Y'all gonna do whatever the hell y'all want to do anyways. But I know internally that I'm not gonna feel good about this. Like then you start to realize too, like what's like the worst thing too is you see people like rob people or jump people or do these things when it's not necessary. Like you're not even broke. Like you driving your mom's car to this place, like
Range Rover.
A Range Rover. Like I started looking at it, I was like, who am I getting? Why am I doing this? And then I was like, you know, I didn't have the best upbringing. Like a lot of ups and downs, you know, like, you know, welfare, broke, making good money, living in a good like suburban area, to then back to being broke, like to the like little like ghetto, I guess. But I started to see like, you know what, I had a lot of ups and downs, but what am I gonna do? Go back to that same old like habits? And like I see my cousins do. My cousins got deported, like gangbang, killed, stabbed, shot. Like that's the only way you're gonna go. And I was like, they like, you go to jail or you pass away over repping something. I knew that I wouldn't feel good about that, because then, you know, those people are going to move on with their lives. Like what they're going to do, put me on a t-shirt and rest in peace hashtag tattoo somewhere around them. Like that's not enough. Like, and that's all they're going to say is like things that I did, not a positive impact. And that's where the whole thing came from too, was like, you know, what do I want people to say to my funeral when I pass away? And I just started realizing like that's some of the things that are not gonna, I feel, make an impact on people in a good way to chase themselves.
Yeah, facts. And what's crazy about that is what you just said, like what do you want people to say at your funeral? I think about that same aspect of when it's like comes to like chasing your goals or chasing your dreams, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like if you were to give up on whatever you aspired to be or wanted to do, like at the end of the day, like say you did something that you didn't like necessarily was passionate about for the next 50 years and you pass. And the last thought you think is, damn, what if I would have done this, and this? Or I could have been this, or that. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, you know what type of person you are. If you're a good person, good guy, good girl, whatever, be that. You know what I'm saying? If you, whatever you want to be in life, pursue that, because you only get one shot at this life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a believer in, being reincarnated or coming back for a second life. I'd be like, this is our only shot. You're going to be one of one. So, why not make the most of it while you're here? You know what I mean? Who cares what anybody else thinks? Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, other people's opinions are, like, at the end of the day, do not matter. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to have one at the end of the day, whether if you're perfect or not. If you do everything right for your whole life, there's still going to be at least one person that's going to say something negative about you, no matter what. So why not just shoulder shrug, don't give a fuck, and do what makes you happy?
Damn, too. You forget how much control and, like, impact you have on people and what you want to do. You could aspire to be really anything you want. You just got to put in the work, and you have to be in the right mindset and block certain people and just tunnel vision. Like, it's so simply said, and you're going to have like the noise come in and out, whatever. But if you just have faith in what you're going to do and like you have an end goal, like you can actually reach that. Like, and that's the craziest thing that I realized within myself. Like, oh, wow, if you just remove all this damn noise, like you can, it's everything. If you have common sense, you're good. Like you could figure it out. You could find your way through like trial and tribulations to get to that ultimate goal. Fuck up, mess up, make mistakes. Subconsciously, you take time off because you're working on your mental health. Your head's not right. You have to seek help from friends and family, and you're just to realign yourself back into there again too. Like this past like year for me was for sure that an example of that. Like I was on the path for like last 3 years of building myself. Every day I was doing it, and I was like elevating the perspective of myself at my workplace with just being myself. Like it wasn't like I was trying to politic my way in there. I'm aware of the politics, but I was also aware of like staying true to me, and the crazy reap of benefits that I get from that, and the respect that I get just by being myself, and the energy, and just thinking about everything I do is here. Like I'm just like what's in front of me, what I want to be projected, and focus on, just making sure that the impact I'm trying to create is within my actions and my words. Like something so simple as just like be your true self and make an impact and set your intentions of what you want to be aspired as or looked as, not as an image, but as in your intentions are clear. When somebody looks at you, like I can tell B-Dab's a good fucking guy. B-Dab is consistent. Like I was even talking about that with, I forgot what I was talking about that with. Oh yeah, I went to hang out with a few friends, a couple Saturday, and I was telling them, "Got watching your game on YouTube," and then they were like, they're calling me a fanboy. I was like, of course. I'm a fanboy. Like to see you on like the screen, like playing football, doing something that you love and something that you've been consistent with. Like for some reason, it barely took to me like a month ago when I brought it up to you. I was like, bro, you're the most consistent person I've ever met, ever. Like, which is crazy to say. Like, and that's the reason why like I'm happy that I'm surrounded by you too, because like I've never met nobody in my life that set their intentions and got the goal, like are pursuing the goal, and all these trials, all these like things coming down, you have to reroute, and like you take this path, you gotta take this path. Like I never met nobody just like you, bro. And like that's one of like the most beautiful things that I respect, like the fact that no matter how times get tough and stuff like that, like you're still working and going towards that. It's like, bro, like it's inevitable, up to you like what your success is gonna be. And like you're like living proof.
Yeah, it's life though, you know what I mean? Like at a very young age, all like my immediate family, especially my mom and my dad, especially my dad, communicated to me, we do not give a flying fuck if you play sports or whatever you do. It's just if you do something, if you play basketball, football, whatever, or even if you're just a scholar, go hard. You know what I'm saying? Like have goals for yourself and actually achieve your goals. So that already, like without me even realizing at a young age, because I didn't even understand, that took a lot of pressure off. You know what I'm saying? There's no pressure to, I have to impress my dad, impress my mom. No, it's like, okay, what do you genuinely want to do? You know what I mean? I feel like anything I would have chose to do, my family would have supported me regardless. And it wouldn't even matter if they supported me or not, because I still would have did what I wanted to do at the end of the day. But it's like, getting to this point, through all the trials and tribulations that I've been through, it's definitely like looking back on it. I haven't really like had time to reflect because I'm still like on the go. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in it and on the go. It's definitely something that I want to write a book about one day. Like definitely something I want to talk about. Especially having this platform of a podcast. You know what I mean? But another way to inspire other people is definitely having a book. I was thinking about this the other day. Crazy. Because I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was like, damn, I like going back like to 5 years ago, like I would have never thought like of wanting to write a book or like, I wanted to tell my story, but I just was like, I just didn't feel, I feel like I was in the halfway mark of the book. You know what I'm saying? So, and even now I still feel like I'm only a little bit halfway through the mid section of the book. You know what I'm saying? Like with grinding and getting to my goals. because I feel like it's really close as of right now. There's a lot of things that are in front of me, and I know, with time, God's gonna bless me, bro. You know what I mean? So I just got to keep grinding and stay on that right path, keep my head straight, and continue to grow as a man, and grow in the aspect of achieving my goals. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's definitely been something that I had to be consistent and block out the noise and just know what I want to do, regardless of what someone tells me. Like, nobody could tell me like, oh, like you're not that good, or you should be doing this, or you should be doing that. It's like, oh, that's cool, okay, Timmy, like it's good. Like, I know what I want to do. I have my goals. Yeah. You do your thing. It is what it is. You feel me?
Damn, that was great. That was great. Damn. But imagine too, like, there's not really, like, at least from I've ever heard or know, is like books based off like the journey of, like for you, like everybody has like literally a unique story. Mm-hmm. Like, you can legit create a story based off like your life and your journey that people can relate to. Like, a lot of people can relate to. Like, you can literally, you don't understand like the value that everybody has based off, your life, your trial, tribulations, your perspectives, your mindset, the things that have happened in your life that, you'll be surprised the amount of impact that you can make off of the sacrifices you made, the journey, the doubts. Like, there's a lot of people that are in your shoes. That's the craziest thing. There's a lot of people that are in your situation that you don't even realize or know.
Yeah. That's facts. Like, each part of like what I've went through and what I've been through, what I'm going through, someone is in the exact same position that that I'm in. So, but no, like, with due time and the right guidance and stuff like that, I know that will come to fruition, and I'm gonna definitely manifest it and put that in the air, so I can get stuff moving in that direction. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey, bro.
Yeah, I think you gotta be blessed and thankful for like the situation we're in. I think sometimes we don't take the chance to like actually be happy and look within of like where we're at and like the platform we're in, especially for us too. It's like the impact we're making, like the messages we get, like that is bizarre, bro. Like, I never would have thought in a million years like the impact, the small, and we're barely even started. Like, it's only like 3 months in. So.
We're about to be 4 months on the 20-something.
And that's like crazy to me. Like, when you actually think about it, it's like
not even the 1 year mark yet.
Yeah, not even a year. Yeah, exactly. Not even a year mark. Like, holy shit. Like, holy shit. That's wild.
But yeah, we're just gonna keep being us. As long as we're gonna be authentic. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be you. I'm gonna be me. You have your point of views on things. I have my point of views, but we still are best friends. We still can sit down and have conversations about stuff. We can still talk about things. Mm-hmm. We can still, hustle and motivate, through this podcast, and, people can get to know us, whether if it's down the line, with, our kids, looking back and watching these, we never know. This could be a fucking channel one day. This can be a fucking, the next Joe Rogan podcast. You know what I'm saying? This get self-revelations. You know what I mean? And it already has that vibe to it. I get messages on my personal, you know what I mean, of people like talking about the podcast. And these are like people on my team too. They'll mention it. Like, they'll bring it up, or like people will like see me, like if I'm editing or something like that, or if I post the podcast, people be like, oh, like I appreciate you guys, like for making this, like, oh, like you did have a point in what you were saying, or your boy did have a point in what he was saying. And I feel like having this platform to have people think outside the box, maybe outside of their way of thinking, and having a more open-minded opinion on certain topics, or even about being vulnerable, mental health, about anything in that nature, taking care of yourself, striving for your goals, grinding, it can completely change somebody's trajectory of their life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we should just, keep going, keep being ourselves, keep being you, keep grinding, you know, keep growing. Same thing for me. It's this whole foundation of who we are, what we're building is all genuine. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that being our, you know, our foundation, I feel like the sky's the limit for us, bro.
And it's crazy too. And it really is just us being ourselves. Like, and that's like where the value is at. It's like being authentic, being vulnerable, being open about the mistakes, like being open of our journey currently right now too, and like some of the things that we're facing. Like people like do relate to that, because I relate to that, relate to that too as well. When I hear other people are open and honest and kind of like, oh, okay, like shit, like he's human too.
Exactly.
I think like some of the, like, I know I posted like a comment on YouTube that we got from somebody, like they were saying like, oh, like some of the most, like, I forgot what they said, something about like something like some of the most, like, a lot of wisdom that they gained was from the podcast. I was just like, wow, like that's crazy.
That's powerful, bro.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
But I know if when I was going through my shit, if there was a podcast like this and it was somebody that I knew or somebody I knew of, say it was somebody in Ripon that had a podcast or something that was just like this, right? And I seen it, and it had the messages that we had, that would help me so much at that time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Being able to go back, watch it, regurgitate the message, understand like the thought process when it comes to certain things, and really apply certain things in my life. Like whether if we're talking about, you know, the 4 agreements or whatever we're talking about, not taking anything personally or whatever it may be. If I had something like that, like it would have been so much more beneficial. But I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that because I turned out fine. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you never know who's this is gonna touch, like for real.
And we're just regular people too. We're regular human beings.
This ain't scripted either.
No, it's not.
It's all off the dome.
Fresh off the dome. It's like legit freestyle podcast. I know people would ask me too. People would be like,
Don Julio.
Shout out Don Julio. People would literally be like, you know, oh, how do you do it? How do you guys prep? Like, what do you guys write down the topics? Like, we don't do none of that. It's literally just a regular ass conversation.
We literally roast and talk shit to each other the whole time before the podcast. Like literally, I think I say I hate you every single time I come into your apartment.
That's a little funny too. It's true.
But no, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, bro. You know, I appreciate you, bro. And then, you know, a lot of stuff that we're doing, bro, we're just gonna keep growing. Like, you know, I love all the engagement that we're getting. I went back on the TikTok and looked at the message, like was looking at, because when I pulled it up, you know how when it's the messages, when I don't go and check it for a while and all the messages pop up, it's like a full feed. So it was like 100 and something people, like fresh messages. And I'm looking like, bro, this is crazy. Like, when did we made our TikTok 2 months ago?
Yeah, about
2 months ago or almost 2 months.
Maybe
it's gonna be like 2 months. It's gonna be like 2.
I don't know, maybe 3 months.
But anyways, we you know, we made our podcast not too long ago, and it's just our TikTok for our podcast not too long ago, and the engagement we're getting from that is ridiculous. That's probably the most we have on everything. So I just can't wait to see where we're at the end of the year, and you know, we're gonna keep bringing you guys like good content and stuff like that. So you guys keep tapping in with us. You know, keep supporting us, and we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next episode on Self-Analysis.
Cheers.